Good morning and welcome to NATEFLIX, your home for movies on the radio. I am your host, NATEFLIX, Nathaniel Daniel.
My name is Barrett Daniel. I'm an aspiring director and composer in Gainesville, Florida. I brought my brother on the show today, Barrett Daniel. He is one of my favorite screenwriters. He'll be joining us on the program today.
That's me. Yep. So I'll be able to contribute as much as I can.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. You can find out all about our video store, Go Video, and all the latest new releases at govideogainesville.com. Today we're going to be talking a lot about bad movies. This was my idea. I want to do a bad movie day. 2011 was, by my watch, a pretty terrible year for movies. There were a few good ones, but there were a lot of bad ones. But we'll get to that later. First up, let's talk about the big new releases hitting the theater this Friday. First and foremost, Haywire, an action-adventure thriller from director Steven Soderbergh.
I'm actually a big fan of Steven Soderbergh. He's one of my top 5 favorite directors. But something that is starting to rub me the wrong way is that he's getting this niche where he's got to start putting actresses in his films that have nothing to do with film at all. He did The Girlfriend Experience, which is kind of an independent film with Sasha Grey, who's actually a porn star. Was a porn star.
Yes.
And
now she's an actress.
Well, thanks to Steve Soderbergh. But I mean, now he's doing this with this. I think she's like an MMA fighter or a female boxer, and from what I've seen, she's terribly awful in this film, The Haywire. And so this is going to go in one of the films that I'm going to least look forward to, and I'm actually very disappointed because I'm such a Steve Soderbergh fan.
Well, but he found a woman who could fight for real, and he surrounded her with a top-notch cast.
I think I got to disagree. I think this movie is going to be great. I have a good feeling about it. Gina Carano, the lead, she probably doesn't look familiar to most of you unless you're into mixed martial arts or UFC. A lot of people call her the face of women's MMA, which is mixed martial arts. I think that's because she's probably the only attractive woman in women fighting. Kind of like Anna Kournikova is the face of women's tennis, even though she's not that great.
Well, I think you're gonna get the Contagion formula here because one of the best movies of 2011, I think, is Contagion, which was also directed by Steve Soderbergh. And he follows this formula where he puts up a great cast that carries the film all together. But the thing is he's doing the same thing here, but he thinks that he can market this film with a great cast, but then put a lead nobody that really just doesn't have any place in acting at all.
Contagion, by the way, is available at Go Video.
Contagion was great. It also had an amazing A-list cast. Steve Soderbergh is notorious for this. Ocean's 11 was his. He also did Traffic, which had a big A-list cast. This movie, Haywire, the supporting cast includes Michael Fassbender, Michael Douglas, Channing Tatum, Antonio Banderas, Bill Paxton, and Owen McGregor. Steve Soderbergh, in my opinion, doesn't make a bad movie. Gina Carano, I like the fact that she's a real fighter. That might make the fighting interesting. This movie looks interesting. I don't want to hope that it's going to be amazing, but I bet it's going to be one of the better films of this year.
Well, we'll see how it does at the box office because it's going head-to-head with another kick-butt chick new release, Underworld Awakening.
Now, that's interesting. We have two movies going head-to-head.
A dominant female that can, go out there.
I'll tell you right now,
Kung Fu.
Underworld 4 is going to dominate in every aspect. I mean, you're going to get... this is a movie that I'm not at all excited for, but definitely going to reel in the box office dollars because this is the majority of the fans that go to the theaters these days, this is what they're looking for. They're looking for something that they can be easily entertained by. And I don't think Haywire is going to do what they're looking for, but I think that everybody has been looking for a Underworld sequel because we're still in this whole vampire werewolf craze.
I think that the new Underworld movie, I don't want to make a prediction on it, but I think it's going to be a weather vane to this vampire trend. Does it still have life? Do people really care enough for another Underworld movie? Or is it starting to run out of gas? Just a few months ago, Priest was a dud. And this was a post-apocalyptic vampire-based action movie. It should have been a huge hit. It wasn't. So, other than Twilight, which is still running strong, but that's almost over with as well.
Well, there's two reasons why this movie even happened. Okay, number one, like Barrett said earlier, vampires and werewolves fighting each other has become extremely famous thanks to Twilight, True Blood, Vampire Diaries, and more. Number two is because this is the first Underworld installment that will be in 3D. The 3D craze is catching on this year. They made a 3D Three Musketeers movie, and
which was a dud.
Mm-hmm. So if you do want to see two chicks kicking butt in the theaters, this week, then you go to see the non 3D one in Haywire. But if you want to see them come out of the screen, go check out Kate Beckinsale and Underworld Awakening.
Now there is a third choice, another action movie called Red Tails. This is a movie that's been in some form of pre-production for nigh on 20 years. It's a passion project of George Lucas. Set in World War II, it's about the Tuskegee Airmen, a black regiment of fighter pilots that were oppressed but managed to overcome that and go out there and shoot down some Nazis.
Well, it stars Cuba Gooding Jr. and Terrence Howard, and it's directed by a guy named Anthony Hemingway. And you're going to like this, Nate. The only other things that he's directed are TV shows, predominantly The Wire, Treme, and Fringe.
Yep.
So fans of those three shows, definitely check this one out.
So yeah, I'm a fan of his work, even though I didn't know his name. But although George Lucas produced it, we have an African-American director. We've got an African-American writer, predominantly African-American cast. But we've got Lucas's big budget special effects and high-tech tricks.
I've actually seen some behind the scenes on this film, and Lucas is actually taking a huge participation in this film. He's sitting side by side with the director and kind of going through every scene with this guy. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because I haven't really been impressed by anything George Lucas has done in any recent years. But the thing is when it comes to special effects, this guy knows what he's doing. And I think that this guy, he hasn't done, the director has not done anything feature film. All he's ever done is TV shows. Mm-hmm. But you could say the same about J.J. Abrams, who did, all he was doing was TV shows until he did Mission Impossible and Star Trek. So this might be this guy's breakout. And he might actually come out and I'm just hoping that he makes a voice of his own, without George Lucas really putting a huge shadow and really trying to just put his mark on it like he does with everything else. Right. So that's what my hope is.
I really want it to be good. George Lucas he's an important name in the world of film, although most of what he's done has been terrible for a very long time.
George Lucas has a purpose in the film industry. And I hope that purpose shines with this film, because there's a lot of hope.
Well, as long as this movie doesn't have Jar Jar Binks or aliens of any kind, there's a good chance it'll probably be good. Moving on to movies being released on DVD this week, I'm really excited because my pick for Best Picture of the Year, the Golden Globes, and the Oscars this year, or at least my favorite out of all the ones nominated, is called The Ides of March. It's directed by George Clooney. It's written by George Clooney and his friend Grant Heslov, who you may know as the person who played the sidekick to The Rock and the Scorpion King. And he was also one of Schwarzenegger's sidekicks in True Lies. But guess what? He's a screenwriter. He's really good. He's been nominated for 2 Oscars for screenwriting. Ides of March was amazing. It may end up being Best Picture. That's the one to check out on DVD this week. It stars Clooney, Ryan Gosling, Paul Giamatti, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Evan Rachel Wood, and Marissa Tomei. It's amazing. Beau Willimon is one of the screenwriters. It's actually based on his play called Farragut North. He is trying his hand at TV. So if you liked Ides of March, check out his new show. It's called House of Cards. It's directed by David Fincher. It stars Kevin Spacey and Robin Wright. Now, this TV series is exclusively being released on Netflix in spring 2012. So if you have Netflix instant streaming, make sure you check this out because you won't find it on TV.
Oh, it's the future home of the new season of Arrested Development, also coming later this year.
Definitely a new medium for television shows. Netflix has said that Netflix has said that they're going to try to keep, all these series exclusively to them that are more episodic. When people watch TV, if the show has a continuing story and you get lost, people may not watch it. But on Netflix, you can always start on episode 1.
Let's try to branch away a little bit, because the problem I have with Ides of March is I think that one thing, you can call it a great film, but right now I think one thing that America wants to stay away from is politics. And I know that George Clooney is trying to accomplish something here that, and the filmmakers of this film they're trying to really show something that we really want to hear. But at the same time, we kind of the reason we go to film is to get away. And so let's talk about some films that really are getting us away from real life. What else is coming out?
Well, the thing about Ides of March is it's really, it's a good movie, but it's really only so good by comparison because of all the bad movies coming out this year. The 3 other movies coming out to DVD. The first one is Courageous.
Now, I would like to talk a little bit about Courageous, because I think that there are some people out there listening that this movie is really going to appeal to.
I would agree with that.
It's a drama about 4 police officers struggling with their faith. The main reason people are going to want to check this out is it was directed by Alex Kendrick. You may not know the name, but his last 3 movies were Fireproof, Flywheel, and Facing the Giants, which are 3 of the most, if not the 3 most successful inspirational films of the last decade.
And he wrote, directed, and starred in all of them.
Yes. Mm-hmm. There are very few people out there making Christian movies for believers. This guy's one of them. He happens to be a pretty good director, and his audience loves him. So I just thought it was important we get the word out to this audience about this particular movie.
I think that's a huge market that people are forgetting about, because actually I was going to say the same thing. Like the thing about Courageous is like it's one of those movies that people aren't going to line up for, but there's definitely a market of people that want to see this film. And I don't think we should take that away from them. I'm like, it's a film that I definitely would not be interested in seeing, but I think that there's definitely a reason why this movie's being made, and I don't think that there's a reason why I'd want to take that away from them.
Well, I think anyone who's curious should come by Go Video and check this one out. We'll have it on Tuesday.
Definitely.
Yeah, we don't have the huge selection of inspirational movies, but we have a few. We also have the Medea movies. We have some documentaries. We have all the biggest blockbusters. We've got all different kinds of movies for whatever you want to watch.
The next 2 movies coming to DVD are also on our list for the worst movies of 2011.
You know what? I think this is a good time to take a break, because Abduction and Bucky Larson Born to be a Star are going to lead into a huge tirade about the worst of comedy, action, horror, found footage the 2011 had to offer. So before we get carried away, let's take a break and freshen up our drinks. We'll be right back.
The new movie's out, I gotta see it. Where can I go when my pockets are tight? I don't wanna wait till it's delivered to my door, 'cause I know a place where I can get it tonight. Go, 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 video. You can get a movie for $1 a day, and only $2.50 for the new Blu-ray. Go, 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 video. And no memberships and no late fees, so you can watch your movie with incredible ease. Go, 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 video. Great selection and no more waiting. The only place to go in your current location.
Home to over 1,000 movies to choose from, Go Video is located in the Chevron on Millhopper and 43rd across from Publix on Hunter's Crossing. You can also visit our website at govideogainesville.com.